solving word problems. When we're solving word problems, we have to think about what is the question asking us to do and think about a very methodical way of going through the problems. So here are some tips. There are only 4 basic operations, no matter what the problem is asking. We can add, multiply, subtract, or divide. Those are the 4 basic operations. You already know these operations. So we just have to think whether we're going to decide to add, multiply, subtract, or divide. And so one of the key things is to remember what words are associated with addition, for instance. Words like altogether, the sum, to add, both, total, increase, in all, combined, plus, and join. Those are all telling us we're probably looking at addition. When we're thinking about multiplication, we have to remember multiplication is repeated addition. So if we're talking about 5 times 3 apples, we're simply saying 5 times 3 plus 5 plus 5. There you go. Plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. And we're back at 15. And so with multiplication, we're doing times, per, each, twice, groups of, double, equal groups, multiply, altogether, words like triple. Those are all words associated with multiplication. And that's really what you have to remember, what words are associated with which operations, because that's really what understanding the word problems is really about. Same with subtraction, whether we're going to take away, decrease, minus, less, how many more, how many less, difference. Those are some of the terms that come with subtraction. And division. Division is fair sharing. So it's related to subtraction. So 12 divided by 3, see, it's how many times we can share this by 3. 1, 2, 3, and what is the outcome? So 12 divided by 3, we're splitting this in 3. We're sharing it 3 times. So we can take out 4 3 times. We can take out or subtract 4 3 times from this. And then division is again between, each, out, share, half, how many in each, all of these words. And in a way, addition and subtraction are the opposites, and multiplication and division are opposites. So when you see the words related to division, such as each, you'll notice that that word is also part of multiplication, each, because when we say each, you're going to have to figure out, is it each for multiplication or each for division? Same for addition and subtraction. So do spend some time understanding the terms that go with addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Understand which ones are opposite, and when you see the words, then you can decide it's either division or multiplication, and then you can read it to figure out the context. Let's take a look at how we think about attacking a problem. You have to have a plan. So here we go. It's our 5-step plan. It's our word attack plan. Step 1. What is the problem about? What is the problem asking? What is the best way to solve it? And then, what operation should I use? When you're done, does my answer make sense? And is my math correct? That's our 5-point plan. And I'll make sure to provide you these images so that you can have them for your reference. So take a look at this word problem. Cars fill 1/2 of the 150 parking spaces in Surrey Plaza. How many of the parking spaces are not filled? And we have some answer choices. Let's ignore the answers now and let's think about how we would attack this problem. So what is the problem about? What is this problem asking? It's asking how many of the parking spaces are not filled. So it's told us how many are filled. is asking what's not filled. What's the best way to solve this? And what operation should we use? Here we're going to use our word problem steps. In thinking about this, we're going to go through the word problem and circle the numbers, underline the question, box the keywords. That way we have a system that we're working with. Help us solve these problems. Take a look. So one, we're going to circle the numbers. Here, remember, sometimes the numbers are written out, like 1/2 is written out in this example, and sometimes they're in digits. Either way, circle the numbers. Look for the numbers. Some are hidden in words. So 1/2 and 150 are our words, are our numbers that we have circled here. Underline the question. How many of the parking spaces are not filled? And it asks us to box the key words. The key words here, not filled. And we're going to evaluate and draw. All right, this is how you figure out your problem, and then you can go ahead and figure out a solution. Take a look at our next question. By the way, I know you know the answer to this one. 1/2 of 150, if we're doing 1/2 off, we are going to go back and take a look at what we talked about with division, half. So that will tell us right away that we are doing division. 1/2, division. 1/2 of 150. That would be your question. That would be the correct answer in this case. That's how much is not filled. That's how many spaces are not filled. Next question. Paul's father sold 78 newspapers on Monday and 92 on Tuesday. How many more did he sell on Tuesday than on Monday? So we're going through the same questions again. What is the problem about? What is it asking? And in doing that, we're going to go to our system. We're going to circle the numbers. 78 newspapers on Monday, 92 on Tuesday. Underline the question. How many more did he sell on Tuesday than on Monday? And box the keywords. The keywords here are really the ones that are going to give us the clue about the operation. And here it's more. And when we talk about more, if you remember, when we went to our division and multiplication, we saw words like more. We saw words like more in addition. Those are the operations we're talking about. So now we're going to come down and we're going to figure out which. How many more? It helps us sometimes to take a look at a visual aid to see on Monday he sold about 78. On Tuesday he sold 75. Let's check our numbers. He sold 78 and then 92. 75 on Monday, 72, 92 on Tuesday. So you already know that he sold more on Tuesday than he sold on Monday. So now we have to go and figure out how much more. So we just want to figure out how much is right up here, how much more. And that allows us to be able to figure out the operation. What are we going to do? Which operation? We're going to subtract 92 minus 78 for the answer. How about this one? Xavier helped his father to plant 150 rows of tomato plants with 25 plants in each row. What is the total number of tomato plants that were planted? So we're asking the same questions and we're circling the keywords, the numbers 150 and 25. So there are 150 rows of tomato, and then there are 25 in each row. What's the total? How do we know? Each we talked about already, it was going to be multiplication or division. But if we want to find out how many, how are we going to figure it out? Take a look at this visual. If they have 150 of these rows with 25 in each row, we figure it out. We want to multiply to get the correct answer. And that's what we would do in this. Tennis balls are sold in cans of 3 balls each. How many cans should I buy if the team needs 35 balls? We're going to do the same thing. This is what it looks like. It's good to have a visual idea. 3 in each of these. They're sold in cans of 3. That's what we just showed you. So how many cans does he need to buy if he needs 35? We already can tell 35 from our 3 times table that we're going to have a remainder. Because if we do our 3 times table, we know we're not going to get an even amount of balls buying 3 each, because 35 does not appear in our 3 times table. So we're going to think of a number that's close to 35, closest to 35 in our 3 times table, and that's where we're going to have to go. We're going to have to buy the one that has the closest multiple of 3 in order to get the correct answer. So they're going to keep buying a whole bunch of these in order to get it. That's what you need to understand. And so we're going to do 35. We're going to divide by 3, and you're going to see how many we have. And if there's a remainder, you have to go 1 up. If there's a remainder, we have to go 1 up. Because we can't buy 2.5 cans, for instance, we'd have to buy 3 cans. So we couldn't buy 11.5 cans, we'd probably have to buy 12 in order to get the amount that's required for this. Take a few of your word problems, follow the steps, go through it slowly, stop worrying about the answers, go through the steps, try to understand what the question is asking, what the problem is about, what's the best way to solve it. Draw diagrams, maps, charts, doodles to help you with a visual understanding of the question. Choose your operation, and only then do you worry about the answer. Once you have a good understanding of the problem, the answer will be easy.